Yeah, hello there, and welcome back. And let us continue with our lesson. And today we are going to learn about the bottom navigation using the Riverpod and the GoRouter, and we'll be using a ShellRoute using a GoRouter. So let us get started and let us create our bottom navigation over here. So first of all, I'll go to my screen and let's add a new folder, and let's create I guess what I will do over here is, since it is getting more complex, I will try to create a new folder and call it as FATURES features, and inside these features I will add a new folder, call it as dashboard features, and inside this let us add a new let's say presentation layer. So presenta presentation, and within this presentation I'll add a controller, because later we'll have a controller. We'll also have a state, maybe later we can create some states, and then I will have a UI, and inside this UI I will have a new widget as well. So let's go and create a new screen inside this file and call it as a dashboard screen.d.file, and also we will need another file over here which is of a bottom navigation widget.d.file, so we will have that too. And inside this let's go and create a stateful let's create a stateful widget and call it as a dashboard screen. I guess that should be fine, and let's import this particular material and make this one as a const. And then from here I guess here we will require a final and the type is of the widget, and let's call this one as a child. And once we have that, let's see required parameter of this.the child from here. So we are good to go over here, and from here what we will return is, let's return a scaffold, and scaffold has a body, and this body we will say it's of the type of the widget that the child that we are passing as a parameter. And then we have a bottom navigation bar. So currently we don't have any bottom navigation bar, so bottom navigation bar, bottom navigation, I'll just say the bottom navigation widget. So let's create this one, and let's close this one, and let me copy this, and let's go over here and let's create a stateful widget. So a stateful widget over here, and let's give a name of the bottom navigation widget, and let's import the material from here, and let's set it as a const over here. And from here the return type will be our bottom navigation bar, right? So we need a bottom navigation bar, and the required parameters is only the item, that is the list of the bottom navigation items. So let me close all of this, and here we can just say the bottom navigation, I guess it should be of the item, and required parameter is the icon only. So what we will do is we will also add the active icon. So I can just const the icon, and let's say the first one is the icons dot the home, that should be fine. And then let's give a same over there, and you can obviously change the different icons. So I can just say home, and maybe you can say that the home.work or something, that should be fine. And then we have another one is the label, I guess, so it is a string type, and then let's make this one as a const. So I can remove this const from here. So once we have that, let's copy this one. So let's make another two. So let's have a three item on the bottom navigation. So let's have three. So let's say this one is of the so piece of the file, let's call Softify, and also let's call this one as shop SFPTI, Softify, Shopify something. Let's go and call this one as bag or something. Okay, so that should be fine. Two different icon, one is for selected and one is for unselected. And then we have a settings, and then let's settings dot the something like settings, and settings dot the phone. Let's add the setting. Okay, so it's a bit different. Settings underscore, let's have the application. Okay, so that should be fine. So we got that. We have a 3 item over here, and next is we will have a final of the, let's say, index, which is of we call it as a position or something, you can call it, which is of a default is of a 0. And don't worry, later we'll fix that particular issue over here. And let's say a current index is of the position that we have, and also we have a on tab. Then we need to have a one function. So what I want to do on this particular tab, so let's go down over here, and I'll just say a void underscore on let's create a private function on TAP tab or something. So we'll get a int of the index over here, and let's create a switch function or the switch case over here, and this switch case will be of the index that we are passing in, and then value if it is of a 0, then we can just say like the GoRouter. We need to import the GoRouter over here, GoRouter dot of context. Once we have imported this, we can just use the context dot go, and then the location. Currently we don't have any location. Let's wait for that one, and later we'll come back and update it over here. And we have a 2 more, one each of the 1, and the next one each of the 2. So this we need to come back and later update it. And here when we tab it, what we need to do is we need to pass it from here and pass in the value that we are getting in as an index. And now what we need to do is we need to update this position. So currently let me import this one, and that will fix that error. And let's say the const over here. So we got that fixed. And next is to maintain the state of this particular position, because when they click on that particular item, we need to navigate and update the index too. So what we can do is we can go and create a controller to maintain the state using the Riverpod. You can also, for this kind of simple case, you can also use the set state to update the state. But since I'm using a Riverpod and I want to show you how you can maintain a state using a Riverpod using the controller. So let's say I create a dashboard. Let's create a controller.the file over here, and let's create a class of the dashboard controller, and that will extend from the state notifier. You can also use the change notifier, but let me use a state notifier. Maybe later on we can have some more complex state to maintain for our particular widget over here. So for now I can just have a one of the int, and I just want to show you how you can use it as a simple one. And I need to write the super call over here. So let's have a super call on the constructor, and void, I will just say set the index, or let's say set the position. I guess that should be much better. And then I will pass in the type of the int as the value, and then let's say that we have a state which is currently in, and I'll just say set the value of that state. Currently we don't have any state currently. You can if you want, you can just go and create a new state class and use it as a type for this particular state notifier. But let's see how we go over later. So I'll just create a provider here, and this will be of our dashboard controller provider. And let's create a state notifier provider. So we will use a state notifier provider that will take a two type, generic type. One is of a controller and one is a state each of the itself as a int. And then here the return type will be returning this dashboard controller, and the int state we will just pass in as 0 by default. And now once we have that, let's go back to our bottom navigation, and here what we need to do is we will change this particular class to either to consumer state full widget or just a consumer state. So consumer we can call it as let's set it as a consumer stateful widget, so I can use the ref everywhere inside this particular class. So here it should be also the consumer state once we change it to the Riverpod consumer stateful widget. It's just another stateful widget that extends the consumer stateful widget, extends the stateful widget internally. So now what we will do is over here we can use the ref keyword, and using ref.watch I can watch my controller, so dashboard controller provider. And then I can, okay, so let's just watch. I can also use to select the value, and I can just say a value dot, then I can just get that particular. But currently we just have a one simple state, so we don't have to use all of those complex logic over here. This will just give us the position of that current controller. The controller just has the state notifier is just an int type, so we can just directly get that over here, and we don't have to implement any of the logic. So another one would be to go over here, and now I can also use this to update the controller. So ref dot, and I can just say read, and once I want to call that functionality will be our dashboard controller provider, and then I can just set the state of that value, that whatever we have. So I can just call dot the notifier dot, I can just set the position, and then I can pass in the index from here. So that should be fine, and we are good to go with the controller that is going to update our state. So once I set it as a watch, which means that it's continuously watching this particular the dashboard controller, which provide us the current position. So whenever this position is updated from here, like whenever we are updating that's the state of that, or whenever we are updating the position, so that will go and rebuild this particular widget. So whenever this controller change, now this bottom navigation widget is going to rebuild. So which means that this is like a reactive, if you are not familiar with the Riverpod. So this is something like a reactive. So if you are familiar with the RX Java or something, so here it will watch this, and whenever the value changes over here, now this is going to rebuild our bottom navigation. So that's a good thing. So we don't have to do any extra logic over here. And this is to we use a read over here because we just want to update the state, and we don't want to watch each over here. So the ref.watch should be only inside the build. You cannot use it like somewhere when you are pressing a button or something. You cannot do that. That's you can just go to the Riverpod documentation, and the documentation has mentioned the best practice to use the ref inside the build widget. So once we have all of this set up, the next thing is that we are good to go with the our router over here. So if I go over here, we have a router provider, and now we need to create a route. So what I need to do is I'll go on to the top over here first of all, and I need to create two of the state for the one state for the navigation state for the top route, and also for the bottom navigation, which is of a ShellRoute. So what we'll do is we'll create a two state over here for that one. So let's create a final final variable, and let's create a global key, right? Global key, and that will be of the navigator navigator state, stat state, and then it will be of the root root navigator root navigator, and then that will be of a type will be of the global glo global key itself. And then the scan, you can add the string of the debug label and just call it as this one is of a root. And then I can just import this somewhere. I cannot find navigator state. Okay, so I got that. And let's create another one which will be of shell navigator, and this one will be of a shell shell. So once we have these two, and what we will do is over here, GoRouter has the it has the option, so I guess it's a navigator key, so I can just pass in the navigator key over here, which is of a root navigator. And let's go inside this over here, and let's create the route from here. So let's go and create a ShellRoute over here, and ShellRoute has some of the parameters. So first is the navigator key, which will pass in as a shell navigator. So that is the first thing that we will pass in, and another one is the builder that we will pass in. So builder, and it takes the three constructor, and it takes a three parameter: context, state, and the child. So what will this child we have to pass in? So from here, let's return our we need to return the our dashboard screen from here, right? And pass in the child from here. Also we can pass in the key. So key is a good to pass in because it maintains the unique key for each of our navigator. So what we'll do is I'll just say state dot the page key, and I guess that should be fine. So once we have this, it should be good. And after that, what we'll do is we will go and set the routes, and we will add the routes over here. So first we will say go route, and the path will be of the let's say a home path over here. And let's add that one. And once we add that, if you want a name, you can also add the name over here, which is of our route name. So let me fix this particular issue over here, and this should be of our, let's say this is a home or the dashboard or the home screen, and we will add a name over here, and that should be of a name. And we don't have currently any name for this one. Let's go and create a name, and let's go over here, name route, and let's add the name route of this one, let's say as a home, and we can just call it as a home from here. And let's go over here, and this particular name, let's give as a home over here. And once we are done with that one, we can return a page builder over here. And page builder, so let us return over here. From here it takes a context and the state from here. And what I will do is from I think from here we can return the I guess I will use a function call over here and return from here the no transition page, because if we don't use no transition, there is some animation, and I think that doesn't look pretty good when you are navigating on the bottom navigation with that particular animation added to it. So we'll remove the animation and say no transition on that particular page. So here on the child, we will just call our currently we have any screen. I guess we don't have a screen over there. So I guess we need to create that particular screen first of all. So I'll just go inside the features and create a new feature of the home, and let's add a new folder, presentation, and inside this presentation I will add a new folder of the UI, and let's add the home screen over here and dot file, and let's create a stateful widget from here and the home screen, and let's import that material. Okay, that should be fine, and let's set this one as a const, and from here instead of container let's return the scaffold, and then we'll just create the app bar, and let's add the title, which is of const of the text, and we'll just say it as a home, and then we'll have a body. Let's say we have a body, and then body will just return a center of the child, and here we'll just say column, column, and columns, and inside this column have a children, and here let's have the const of the text, and we'll just say this is a home page or the home screen, and I guess it should be on the top, so let's remove that. That should be fine, and yeah, let's close this. So we have that home screen, and let's go over here, and from here I can just call the home screen from here, and then let's add the key for this, and let's say state dot the page key for that one, and I need to add the comma over here. So I got that first route, and I need a two more route for this, so let's go over here and over here. So let's create a two route. So this one will be of the we need another route of this, let's say a set this one each of the, let's say a card or something, card, and then we'll have another one with the, let's say setting, and we need to create that too. So we also need a name, so let's go and add the name for this one each of the card page, and another one each of the setting, and here we can just call it as a card, and this one is of the setting. And once we go over here, we can replace that with a setting. Let's see TTI in the setting, and here it should be of the card. So that should be fine, and we just need to have this particular page created. So let's have our new feature, and let's create as a setting feature, and another one we need to have one more as the card feature. So what I will do is I'll just go inside here and copy this whole content because we don't have anything over there. So let's paste it over here, and also let's do the same thing on the setting, and let us just rename this one to the let's rename it as a setting underscore screen, and let's change this one too. So setti in setting, scr in screen. Let us replace all of this over here, and here too, and here, and here let's call it as a setting, and this one should be of a setting screen, and let's do the same thing for the card screen. So we have a card, and let's rename this one to the card screen, card screen, and here let's rename this one to the card, and let's replace all of this over here, and that should be fine, and here too, and here, and let's replace here to the card too, and here which is of the card screen. So we got that. Let's go back to the GoRouter, and over here let's replace this one to the card screen, and then we will have this one as a setting screen. So I guess that's all that we need to do over here to add the ShellRoute, which will create us the button navigation. So let's run our application and let us try to test it. And I think I forgot one more, that is on the button navigation. We haven't added this particular let's go over here, and we haven't added that things over here. The first one is the have to go to the home page. Second one will go to the setting page. Sorry, it should go to the card. And here the third one should go to the we should go to the setting. And let's go to this particular router, and I guess it's still going to the home page. That is because of here. So what we will do is, by default it should go to this particular location. We should go to the ShellRoute. So let us try to restart our application, and yeah, we are here. So we got that particular button navigation over here, and we got the route not found. The location was not found, right? So let us see what went wrong over there, and it should be up somewhere here, setting, and we have a setting screen. Let us see what went wrong over here. I guess it should be on the bottom navigation widget. So yeah, it should be here. We need to add this particular forward slash over here and here too. So that should be fine, I guess. Let us try to rebuild the application, and let's try to run it one more time. And let's say we have this. Let's go to the card screen, and this is of the settings. So I guess we need to change the name to over there. So we are having the same name everywhere. So home, so this should be of our CART card, and this will be of the SATTIMG setting. And then that's is the code. So let's try to rebuild our application, and yeah, so now it looks better. So if you want to change that particular color and other stuff, you can change it, and also you can add the some colors over here, right? So I guess that would be much better to add that color over here. So for that, what you can do is, let's go over here and add a background color, and let's say colors dot the amber, let's say blue or something, blue gray or light blue, or let's say a blue gray. And let's try to rebuild that, and you get a different color over here. That's fine. So now you can also add some more customization of the selected item color, or let's say a selected item color, and this should be of us colors of the green or something. And then you can also have the unselected item color, that should be of a colors dot the gray, sorry, gray gray, sorry, is it a gray, grey, okay, so grey gray. And you can change the color and all of this stuff, right? And you can also say if that's not good, I guess it should be of a white. I guess that will look much better. So now you get that particular color. And also you can change the setting, like the selected label style, and that should be of the const of the text style or something. And then you can add the colors, colors colors dot the white when it is selected. And then you can change some more stuff, like the font size, and you can just say if it is of a 12 when it is selected. And then also the font weight, I guess you can increase it to the font weight dot, I think you can add around 700. That should be fine. And I can just copy the same thing and do that one for the unselected, right? So unselected label style, and this one should be of a grey. and let's say it's offer 12, and then this one should be offer around 500. Just rebuild it, and now you are good to go. So you can see that we have a beautiful looking bottom navigation using the GoRouter, Riverpod, as well as the ShellRoute, which is new on the GoRouter 5. And you can see that we can maintain the state of this particular bottom navigation using the GoRouter. So if we can see to the bottom navigation, and you can see we are using the Riverpod over here to set the state and to watch the state. So this is currently watching the state, and this is currently updating that particular state. So currently we don't have any complex setup for that particular controller. It's just a small state notifier, but later we'll be updating this one to add more complex state over here once we are doing the cart and the setting and all of those stuff. So let's meet up in the next lecture. Till then, have a great day.